I worked in Cincinnati, and I love Cincinnati. That I can tell you. Love it. Very, very special place to me. Thank you, everybody. Wow, what a turnout this is. This is big stuff. And a poll just came out. Wall Street Journal, NBC, we're leading Ohio by 1 or 2 points, but we're going to win Ohio. We are going to win Ohio. Thank you, everybody. I gave a speech earlier today on the lies, corruption, and false accusations of the crooked Hillary Clinton campaign and the mainstream media, which they control and use quite viciously. They want to distract us from WikiLeaks. It's been amazing what's coming out on WikiLeaks. They want to keep us from talking about the issues. We will not let that happen. We're going to talk about the real issues, which is jobs and illegal immigration and our depleted military and taking care of our vets. And our Second Amendment and our Supreme Court judges. And the repeal and replacement of Obamacare. Don't forget that. Which is a disaster. Every day between now and the election, we're going to talk about our plans to make America great again. In 26 days, we're going to defeat the corrupt establishment, and we are going to save the United States of America. We are going to save the United States. And we are going to show the whole entire beautiful world how much we love our country. It's going to be, again, America first. It's been a long time. America first. $21,000 people tonight. Can you believe this? 21,000. 21,000. And you got 7,000 people outside trying to get in, but they're not going to make it, I guess. We're going to renegotiate our absolutely terrible trade deals, reduce surging crime, cut taxes and regulation, lift the restrictions on American energy, end Common Core, reduce the cost of college, make child care more affordable, and repeal and replace that horrible thing, the so-called Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, which is not affordable at all. And the governor of Minnesota just minutes ago announced that the Affordable Care Act is not affordable. And Bill Clinton admitted the other day that it's a crazy system. And I've been saying this for years, and Bill Clinton suffered last week. He made that statement, and he actually told the truth. He had a rough evening, I want to tell you that. I've been talking about how it's not going to work before it was even passed. And it was passed, if you remember, it was passed with a big lie 28 times. Keep your plan, keep your doctor, over and over and over. And we have a real mess on our hands where the cost is going up 72%, 78%. Next year it'll be over 100%. It's a disaster. We've got to repeal it, replace it. It's no good. Our president is incompetent. Believe me, he's incompetent. integration. He ought to be working on bringing our jobs back from Mexico and all of these places that have taken our jobs. He is a disaster. Very importantly, we're going to get our economy growing again and growing fast. My economic agenda can be sent, and you know this, and I think you've heard this. We want an agenda that really is represented by what three words? Go ahead. Jobs, 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 and people aren't going to take our jobs, and countries are no longer going to be taking our jobs. There will be consequences. There will be a price to pay. And one of the hardest hit has been the state of Ohio. Manufacturing jobs, your steel jobs, your miners are going to be protected. Your miners are going back to work, that I can tell you. This election is a simple choice. It's a choice between putting our faith in failed politicians, and she is a failed politician. Look at what she's done. Everything she touches, I'm going to be very nice, turns bad. See? I've learned. Or putting our faith in you, the American people, which is what we're going to do. This is a great movement that we've created together. A movement like has never been seen in this country. A movement like they've never, ever seen in this country. Never, ever seen anything like this. And on November 8th, we're all going out to vote. And we're going to have a tremendous victory. I think far greater than some people are even predicting. Because we're tired of corruption and we're tired of incompetence. And that's what you get. Nobody wants 4 more years of Obama. And with Hillary Clinton, it'll even be worse. The Hillary Clinton documents released by WikiLeaks just a little while ago make it more clear than ever just how much is at stake on November 8th. The corruption of the Clintons knows no limits, and we've known that for a long time. Today, WikiLeaks released new emails from early 2015 from Clinton campaign staffers discussing how friendly Hillary was with Attorney General Loretta Lynch. Oh, I'm shocked to hear that. This was only months prior to the investigation of her illegal server and the email server that gave foreign governments access to our confidential information. Think of this. This comes on the heels of the disclosure, and you saw this disclosure. The Clinton campaign was colluding with the State Department over the release of her emails, and revelations that the Clinton campaign was colluding with Obama's Department of Justice over the investigation into Hillary's secret server. There has never been anything like what's happening in our country. We've never had a thing like this before. And it's a disgrace, and they ought to be ashamed of themselves. And like I took Hillary and told Hillary the other day at the debate, which we did win quite easily, I will say. Look, she's highly overrated, believe me. You know, she couldn't pass her bar exam in Washington, D.C. Couldn't pass it. She failed. She's an overrated person. How about during the debate? I'm standing there at my lectern, not moving, and she walks in front of me, right? She walks in front of me, and she answers the question. Then she walks right back, right in front of me. And the next day, I read in the newspapers that I invaded her space. Do you believe this? Me. But we have another debate coming up, and we'll do the same thing to her. Yesterday, new disclosures were made showing again how Hillary Clinton's pay-for-play works. In 2010, Saudi Arabia was looking to buy arms from the United States. In order to get the approval, Clinton's State Department had to sign off, and they couldn't get it. So what happened? What did Saudi Arabia do? They paid Bill Clinton a fortune to do a speech. Later that year, Clinton's State Department signed off on arms deals between the United States and Saudi Arabia. Shocking, shocking. Hillary bleached and deleted 33,000 emails after, not before. Before would be bad. After is criminal. It's criminal. After a congressional subpoena, then made 13 iPhones disappear, some with a hammer. Has anybody used a hammer on their iPhone? He did. What business are you in? Huh? I don't want to ask. I don't want to know. She did that to cover up. Huh? I don't want to ask. I don't want to know. She did that to cover up her crimes. The WikiLeaks documents show how the media conspires and collaborates with Clinton campaign, including giving the questions and answers to Hillary Clinton before a debate. I don't get them. I want them. I'm angry at the Republicans. They don't get me the answers and the questions. The documents show how the DNC honestly betrayed Bernie Sanders. Poor Bernie, he sold out. If he wouldn't have sold out to the devil, he would have gone down in political history as quite an important man. But he sold out, and his people are not happy. And now with all of these emails that they're finding and all of these documents, it's not a pretty picture for Bernie. Looks bad, looks bad. They really did rig the system on Bernie Sanders, I'll tell you. They rigged the system. The documents also show the Clinton campaign says she has no core. She has no message. What are we going to do? She's got no message. I have a message. You know what the message is? Make America great again. It's a good message, and that's what we're doing this for. I didn't need this, folks, believe me. I built a great company, was having a lot of fun. This isn't fun. You know, many of the people, although I must say, it sort of is fun, but many of the people in this room were making more money 18 years ago than they are now, and they're working harder now, and in many cases, you have 2 jobs. So you're working harder, you're older, and you're making less. But I'm older, and I'm working harder also, so I don't feel bad for anybody in the room. We're all in the same boat. But it's going to pay off because we're going to turn our country around. We're going to turn our country around. What Hillary is instead is the hundreds of millions of dollars she raised from Wall Street special interests. In fact, the emails show Hillary has a private position for Wall Street and a public position, a fraud for the voters. She says this to Wall Street, she says this to the voters. The emails also reveal how the Clintons ripped off the wonderful people of Haiti, doling out favors for their friends and special interests. So true. Americans have had it with the years and decades of Clinton corruption. And I will tell you what happened with the Attorney General of the United States. Her airplane. Tarmac. Said, oh, gee, let's say hello. Stayed for 39 minutes and talked about golf and his grandchildren. He didn't talk about golf, and he didn't talk about his grandchildren, unless it was a minute or two. I would think he probably talked about appointing her as the Attorney General if Hillary wins this election. And you're not allowed to do that. And they were very embarrassed, and they thought it would be something where they could sneak on and sneak off. You know, I've had a plane for a long time. I've never had anybody stop it, get on, come off. On the tarmac, doesn't happen. And then you have the director of the FBI and some of the greatest people in the world. Some of the greatest people of really in our country. Some of the great people are in the FBI. And based on what I read and see and hear, they are so angry at what took place, where they caught her cold. She is a corrupt person. She should not be allowed to run for the presidency. She's a corrupt person. She should be locked up. She should. Ask my Attorney General to appoint a special prosecutor to look into her crimes, because what she did is a disgrace to the United States of America. And we're also going to look into the investigation. In other words, we're going to investigate the investigation, because what happened is a disgrace. Other people, their lives have been destroyed for doing so much less. And everybody knows it. You know, when you delete something or when you don't provide the documents requested, after you get a subpoena from the United States Congress, that's a criminal act. That alone, forget about all of the other things which are even worse in many ways. But that alone is a criminal act. And now, as you heard last week, 2 boxes of information and emails are missing as of last week. What are we doing, folks? What are we doing? What are we living with? What are we living with? This will finally be the year where the American people can say enough is enough. The Clintons are the past, but we are all going to be together a very bright future. The new emails also show members of the Clinton team viciously attacking Catholics and evangelicals. True. It's just the latest evidence of the hatred that the Clinton campaign has for faithful people in our country. faithful Americans. Hillary Clinton thinks you're deplorable and irredeemable. And irredeemable might be worse. Means you can't help yourself. I call you hardworking American patriots, and together we are going to save our country. We're the smartest, we're the best. We're going to unify our country. These emails also reveal that Clinton believes in global governance and unlimited immigration into our country. Speaking in secret to a foreign bank, Hillary Clinton said, "My dream is a hemispheric common market. There go your jobs, the rest of your jobs. With open trade and open borders." Okay? She didn't want to hear that. She didn't want that to get out. Behind closed doors, when she thought no one was listening, she pledged to dissolve the borders of the United States of America. That's what's happening, folks. That's what's happening. We are going to have strong borders. We are going to have a great wall. And who is going to pay for that wall? 100%. They don't know it yet, but that doesn't matter. No, the Mexico's fine. I was there 2 months ago. I met with the president of Mexico, very good person. And you know what? We're going to have a great relationship with Mexico. But right now, their leaders are too smart for our leaders. We have massive trade deficits with Mexico. They beat us at the border. They beat us with trade. We have massive trade deficits with China. They make our product and other countries. We don't make things anymore, essentially. But we're going to start making things again. We're going to start making things again. We're going to make them in Ohio, believe me. We're going to make them in Ohio. Hillary wants to end forever the American independence that our soldiers fought and died for to keep and protect us. Either we win this election or we lose our country, and that's what's happening. That's your choice. It's as simple as that. A Trump administration will secure and defend our borders. Hillary is so radical on immigration as Secretary of State, she refused to make foreign countries take back their criminal aliens. I don't know if you know what's gone on. They would catch a murderer. They would catch a drug lord. They would catch some bad people, top gang members. They'd bring them back into their countries. The countries would say very intelligently, "We don't want them." So we'd bring them back. She would put no pressure on those countries. We bring them back, and in many cases, we just put them right back on our streets where they wreaked havoc. Wreaked havoc. I will get them over there, and they're not coming back. I promise you that. I promise you. Promise you that. One such killer who was set free on Hillary's watch went on to kill a young American girl named Casey Chadwick. The killer, who had already been convicted for shooting a girl in the head, should have been sent home and should have never been here in the first place. Instead, he was set free, went on a rampage, and murdered Casey. Hillary Clinton should be ashamed. She should be ashamed. She also wants to increase Syrian refugees coming into our country by 550%. This, even though she admitted in private, according to WikiLeaks just the other day, that she knows terrorists are trying to infiltrate the refugee program, which they absolutely are. Hillary's support for open borders with the Middle East will give us the same problems as France. All you have to do is look on, see what's happening with Germany and so many other countries, with the multi-generational terrorism embedded in our communities all over the world and all over our country. So let me state this as clearly and as nicely as I can. I am going to keep radical Islamic terrorists the hell out of our country. At the same time, we're going to completely rebuild our very depleted military. That includes building a state-of-the-art missile defense system, which we need. It's time. When it comes to keeping America safe, I believe in three very important words, and we don't have it now. It's called peace through strength. But to be a strong country, we must also be a rich country. Sounds crass, but we got to be a rich country. Right now, we're a poor country. We're a debtor nation. At the center of our economic revival, we'll be fixing our terrible, horrible, incompetently negotiated trade deals. In our country, 47 million Americans are in poverty, and 45 million Americans are on food stamps. Amazing, right? In this day and age. This is the legacy of President Obama and Hillary Clinton. No state has been hurt worse by our trade deals than the state of Ohio. I'm going to bring back your jobs. You're going to have big expansion of your existing companies, and no more companies are going to leave the state of Ohio without there being serious economic consequence for that company. The state of Ohio has lost 1 in 3 manufacturing jobs since NAFTA, signed by Bill Clinton and supported heavily by Hillary Clinton. Hillary's South Korea deal also cost the United States another 100,000 jobs. And do you remember when Hillary Clinton ran for the Senate in New York? She said she was going to bring back 200,000 jobs to upstate New York. Guess what? More and more and more companies left. They went to Mexico and other places. She did nothing but talk, and that's all she's doing now when she runs for president. She doesn't have the strength. She doesn't have the aptitude. She doesn't have what it takes if we're going to be a great country again. That I can tell you 100%. And you know, when she's over in China, if she goes down in Tiananmen Square, they'll just leave her there. They're tough people. They're just going to leave her there. They're not going to help her up. They'll say, let her come up when she's ready. These are tough people. Since China entered the World Trade Organization, another Bill and Hillary-backed deal. Now listen to this. 70,000 factories. I thought they meant 500, 700, 7,000. 70,000 factories have shut down or left the United States of America. 70,000. That's 15 factories closing a day on average in our country, going to other places. We are living through the greatest jobs theft in the history of the world, and it comes from our country and goes to many others, in particular China, Mexico, Japan, but plenty of others. Companies like Carrier, General Electric, Motorola, Mattel, Fiat, Chrysler, and so many others are moving their jobs to Mexico. And now Ford just announced it's moving all of its small car production to Mexico also. Not good. Not good. And I will tell you this. If I win, when Ford, when Carrier, when these companies announce that they want to leave, fire all of their American workers and go to Mexico, and in the case of Ford, build a $2 million plant, I will tell you what's going to happen. We will tell them, congratulations, enjoy your new plant. But every time you make an air conditioning unit or a small car or a big car or a big truck and you want to send it into the United States, you're going to have a 35% tax to pay at our now strong border. And they'll never move, folks. They'll never move. And if they do move, that's okay too, because we're going to make a fortune. Now, a lot of politicians aren't smart enough to understand that. And many do understand it, but they're taking care of the companies that are moving. It's corruption. But they will not move, and the ones that do move will pay a big price. But when they hear this, they're not moving. It's very simple. And in Cleveland, right now, and throughout Ohio, you have companies negotiating to move. Some of you work in those companies. And many of the people that work in those companies are here now, and you don't even know the owners and the leaders of the company are negotiating. But with me, you don't have to worry about it, because we will make it economically very difficult for them to leave the United States, believe me. Believe me. So you don't have to worry about it. If I win, day one, we're going to announce our plans to totally renegotiate the worst trade deal ever made, NAFTA. If we don't get what we want in that renegotiation, we will leave NAFTA and start over and get ultimately a much, much better trade deal. We will also stop the Trans-Pacific Partnership, the deal Hillary Clinton lied about during the debate when she called it the gold standard, and during the debate, never said that. She lied. She lied. And she lied about the line in the sand. Remember, she said, no, I never said that. I wasn't Secretary of State when Obama made that stupid pledge, line in the sand, that he didn't honor. Just like some people didn't honor the pledge to Donald Trump when we all ran for the Republican nomination. There were a few people that did not honor the pledge. I would have honored my pledge, but some people lost so badly they'll never forget it, so I guess they couldn't handle it. We are going to start making things again in America. We are going to have Apple, and many companies like Apple, start making their iPhones and their products in the United States, not in Vietnam and China and every place but here. As part of our plan to bring back our jobs, we're going to lower our business tax from 35% to 15%. Right now, we're the highest in the world. We're going to be one of the lowest. Our businesses are being forced out. We can't let it happen. Wages will rise, jobs will return, and factories will come rushing onto our shore. We're also going to fix our inner cities and help African American and Hispanic Americans who are being treated very, very unfairly. 45% of African American youth live in poverty. 58% of African American youth don't have jobs. More than 3,000 people have been shot in Chicago since January 1st, a very short period of time. It's like a war zone. To those African Americans suffering in our country, where in the inner cities you have no jobs, horrible education, and you oftentimes get shot just walking down the street to buy a loaf of bread. I say this, what the hell do you have to lose? Vote for Donald Trump. I will fix it. I will fix it. True. They've been run by these Democrats like Hillary for over 100 years in some cases, unbroken. I will fight harder for you than anyone has ever fought before. Nobody will fight like I'm going to fight for you. But I'm also going to fight to help millions of Hispanics who are trapped in poverty also. That includes school choice, so important. For every low-income African American and Hispanic child in this nation, disadvantaged children will be able to attend the public, private charter or magnet school of their choice. Here are some of the more amazing things we're going to do for our country starting in 2017. Won't this be nice? You gotta get out and vote. You gotta get out and vote. Ohio's so important. We're going to have the biggest tax cut since Ronald Reagan. We're going to protect our internet system. We're going to defend religious liberty. Protect free speech on college campuses. Rebuild our depleted military and take care of our great veterans that we love and cherish. Repeal and replace the disaster known as Obamacare. We're going to save our Second Amendment, folks. We're going to save it. The National Rifle Association, NRA, gave me the earliest endorsement in their history. We got to save our Second Amendment because they are doing numbers to your Second Amendment that are not good and are very unfair and are not what our founders had in mind. So think about your Second Amendment, so important. We're going to appoint justices to the United States Supreme Court who will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. You have 26 days to make every dream you ever dreamed for your country and for your children and for your grandchildren to come true. I honestly believe this is the last chance we'll ever get. Not going to happen again. This is a movement like they have never, ever seen before. The media, the press is going absolutely crazy. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. You look at this place, they don't know what to do. On November 8th, the arrogance of Washington, D.C. will come face to face with the righteous verdict of the American voter and the American worker. We are going to replace our failed and incompetent leadership in Washington that has betrayed you, squandered your wealth, and sold out our country and our jobs. It's time for us to embrace the greatness of our country and the greatness of our future. I'm asking all Americans, Republicans, Independents, and even Democrats to join us in our campaign. And that's what's happening, folks. You look at it and you see. You have all over the yards, all over Ohio and lots of other states. Trump signs, Trump Pence. And by the way, Mike Pence, great guy, great job, a great pick. We're going to give our government back to the American people. I am going to fight for every citizen of every background, from every stretch of this nation. And I am going to fight to bring us all together. We're a divided country right now. All together, as Americans, we're going to love each other. We are not going to be divided for much longer. Imagine what our country could accomplish if we started working together as one people, under one God, saluting one American flag. You are going to look back at this rally for the rest of your life. And by the way, is there any place better to be anywhere in the world or safer to be than a Trump rally? We love each other. You're going to remember this evening. This is a movement like has never been seen in this country before. We're going to make history together. You're going to look back at this election and say this is by far the most important vote that you've ever cast for anyone at any time, because that is when our country started turning around and being great again. A vote for me is a vote for you, and it's a vote for change, which we need. Change. Once again, we are going to have a government of, by, and for the people. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you, everybody.